And I think that's been, what, 3 rounds where we've seen players getting caught with grenades in their hands now?
Yeah.
It's, you know, sometimes you're just having a bad day, in all fairness. You know, sometimes it seems like every decision you make, just something's going wrong. You put on a smoke and suddenly you see, you know, a random flying USB in front of you. But there's definitely, you know, questions to be asked. And hopefully Saw can answer them moving into this. They can still bring it back to a 9-6, definitely. CT, you know, utility isn't great right now in this round. They won off of a single player alive, so Saw still has a very good chance in this.
Yeah, they did such a good job in the series yesterday of bouncing back after a slow start. Especially on their own map pick. Hope that they have greater confidence to do so. Playing out the round a little slower, some utility expended over towards A that NORDAVIND don't seem to be reacting to whatsoever. Seems as though they have the read. I mean, they've got 3 players positioned over at B. They're just locking down long control. They're playing a retake A bomb site, and Saw aren't going to be able to capitalize on that at all.
Well, HS, he's going to be able to catch one off. Keeps the spray going. Flash is perfect from Croman. And HS and Croman go down, but NATO's right there to trade. Tensky in position, but that position is compromised by Roman, who's still going to keep on going. Unfortunately, no bomb. Yep, and that's where he peeks out. He's scouted out by the AWP. NATO's happy to re-peek, and Harry's happier to get that kill out. 10-3. And NORDAVIND are getting themselves into a very, very convincing lead. And look at this. HS finds that first kill. And that's a spacing issue right there, Yumi. Because Arky is not supposed to check that angle. So if anyone's looking at this saying, Arky, why aren't you? Arky's not supposed to. First player almost never checks close angles. He almost always jumps across because that gives time to the second player to get a favorable duel. And you're relying on the M4s not being able to immediately one-tap you down, especially while you're jumping. But the second player behind Arky, he was just too far away. And that's when, you know, Arky, he dies, the flashbang comes in, second player can't even trade. So, just some unfortunate stuff coming out from the Saw camp where these very, very, very small mistakes are compromising them very greatly.
And that's the thing, right? It's not just that one isolated round. We've had now a few moments where players have lined up for sprays from Croman, from HS. Now we have instances where they're not really lining up for HS in that particular round where he's holding outside of the B bomb site, but still there shouldn't be these issues where a player is having to check angles they don't usually have to clear. So these, like you said, these small details are breaking down for Saw on their own map.
And HS is here with the AK, but he's not good for 2. As a result of that, Harry will be left to do a lot of dirty, dirty work. Harry peeks out for 1, looking for more. Not brought down yet, but Roman and Muterus both coming in with kills of their own. They leave Croman alone. 1 versus 2, has to get to 3K to finish this off. He's had a few 3Ks so far, but this one is particularly difficult. Doesn't realize there's a player over in car. Could just be stabbed in the back, and Roman is happy to do so. 10-4, and NORDAVIND, their money is now gone. So Saw, if you finish at a 5-10, let's not forget yesterday. You know, yesterday against Alternate Attacks, that's exactly what happened. They finished at 5-10. Alternate Attacks got reset towards the end of their CT half the exact same way, Yumi. So maybe we see them bringing things back on CT where they look very comfortable.
Yeah, that is certainly a possibility. And it's as well that NORDAVIND find themselves in this spot considering how aggressive they have been playing. It's more so been throwing bodies at the problem and just hoping the mechanics carry them forward. That, yeah, Saw have this opportunity presented to themselves, and all the aggressive nature doesn't stop there. Pistols in hand, NATO's trying to take some space away through middle, and although he does get spotted out by Stadodo, that does cause a bit of issues. Just a few, as they are now concerned about a potential flank through suicide. But now they set their sights on this A bomb site. NORDAVIND are here in presence. There's 4 players in close proximity.
Tensky's Deagle could be big if he gets a bit of a one-way here, Yumi. They don't want to lose that much, but Tensky reveals himself, can't get that kill. Now he's being fired back on Arky. Can't see because he's blind. Croman's flash is perfect, and so is that B9 kill. Tensky chimes in. It's a 2 versus 1. Stadodo is able to bring it back to 1v1, but Croman's position is still not known. There was too much chaos, and the bomb isn't in his hands. Croman is playing that angle very well. But Sidozo's got the superior weapon and the superior firepower. He wins out that 1v1. Crucial as well. It got so close there, Yumi.
Just a cluster of a round. So many bodies. They even lost track of Croman towards the end. You can see Stadodo was concerned about short. And I can only assume it was somebody screaming in his ear. He could be sight. And just had to play it confidently in the 1v1.
And well, our boys at Lootbet, good old our pals and partners, they're just doubling in on their odds, and you can see why. 123 to 3.9 for Saw. I think that's might be a little bit unfair given what we saw yesterday, but I'm also biased because I think Saw's CD side is just really, really good. But I also thought their T side was largely falling apart yesterday because of slacks, not because of mistakes. So maybe today's just, you know, an off day, maybe some miscommunication going on. Hopefully they can fix it on this half as Roman finds that first kill very nicely down mid.
Yep, NORDAVIND do take some space towards short, so with the man advantage, at least have the indicator that's a possibility, but still playing the angles, still hoping to not over-rotate. Then that Muterus can deliver. Flashes over, he's able to dodge them out, and Roman there as well to prevent any sort of push through spawn, but he does get overwhelmed eventually. The site now taken by the NORDAVIND side into equal numbers, but Stadodo pushes through a smoke as well. Now suddenly they've lost that advantage that started off this round, and they have to retake things through. No kit on either of these players, but Croman overstaying his welcome towards spawn does equalize the affair.
P250s do at least give them the range advantage. HS has found one, needs to quickly tap away on Just and bring it down. He can drop down if he wants to. The jumping accuracy of the P250 is decent, but Just that quick tap saves the day entirely. And also, that's what, 3 people who died because they went through a smoke or something, including from NORDAVIND. It's a bit of an odd round to start things off, but Saw are happy with it. Unfortunately, this is what I believe is the hardest round in the game, which is where the T's have had a bomb pond, and you're the CT side.
Yep, both teams will buy into this, and well, with NORDAVIND, like you said, getting that bomb planted, Galils are invested, NATO's on the scout, just to get some information as well. Maybe some early tags. And no such luck for the NORDAVIND side. No differences, no changes from the Saw mentality on the CT side. No overly aggressive plays in towards the lower tunnels we got to see from NORDAVIND. A bit more standard proceedings. Well, this angle.
If you've touted for being incredibly deadly, it's coming into play a little bit. Muterus with the Farmers holding a bit of an awkward Farmers angle, but it can work against inferior firepower compared to the AKs. It can definitely come into play. I'm more curious to see how Stadodo plays this, though, because Stadodo playing from car is going to be the linchpin of long. And that's where a lot of the NORDAVIND aggression is going to be coming in from.
Yeah, they won't have a Molotov to flush him out into the open either, so if he just plays it patient, could be an instrumental performance over towards the A site. Muterus just jump spotting, trying to get some information as to how far they aggressively through the smoke. Will eventually track down HS, who saw a slither of HP just dodging bullets left and right.
If I don't move, they won't see me. A really, really good round from Stadodo, though, there. You can see him just, like you said, patience was the key. He also knew that he had a player in Roman playing from CT spawn who can provide him a lot of cover fire in case they're coming in up close and personal. So that setup was generally very nice from Saw after they got into the 5v4. So always appreciate that. Molotov going out early and just making sure that NORDAVIND on their Glocks can't get too many kills. You know, a couple of P250s and a Deagle as well, but I like the 2 flashes at least. That's something I mentioned yesterday as well. I have a pet peeve, which is that if teams do not get a single flash, it's just heartbreaking for me.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Dinks with Glocks and followed up by the Deagle. There's at least a response there from Stododo, and the bomb's in a position where he can at least spot it out, make sure that they can't recover it too easily. So he's consistently taking fights, but he's doing so by himself. There doesn't seem to be too many supportive elements. We have Muterus off of short, trying to get some semblance of help, but Stododo is just continually taking these fights because he knows he has the rifle, but the Deagle is still in play, and that can be dangerous.
Even the P250 is really good long range, to be honest. I am, especially when you're 62 HP, this is a curious repeaks coming up from him. He is fortunate enough that he doesn't have to contend with the immediate death that can come in. Flashbanging themselves through the smoke is NORDAVIND. They aren't going to find anything though. Arky is just here as a cleanup crew. Harry was very good on this angle. Arky will be no less for now at least, but now comes out the gun round. Now comes out the true test for Saw.
I need to start playing A site if I'm ever on Dust 2, because it seems like everybody's just tapping players away, just having a good time. Onto rifle for the NORDAVIND side. So far, it's been a good start to the half for Salt. They got the 3 rounds in a row that they were looking for to close that distance, but this is where it all really counts. No AWP on this NORDAVIND side, so Stododo largely uncontested, but... And well, oh, okay. Muterus as well, getting aggressive through towards middle. He can contain them in towards long.
This is one of the more traditional counters to the immediate bit rush, which is just to send a person up mid very, very quickly because of the sheer amount of manpower we generally need. It's surprising that NORDAVIND don't have someone checking their flank, but that could be very deadly. Arky has to be deadly here, though. Perfect one-way smoke for him to position and find 3, not the 4th, but he's done enough. HS will finally take him down. This 2v4 could not be more difficult when you've got Muterus coming in from the back lines to close it off. Densky to fall. HS will stop the plant, trying to get some kills, but Saw will play that perfectly. Arky. It's not very often you see that smoke being used so effectively, but that was perfection on a plate. Look at that.
Yeah, wonderful stuff. The one-way smoke in which he can see them before they can even react in time. Arky getting 3, sealed the round in. Continues the spree for Saul. It almost seemed an identical sort of round that we would expect to see from NORDAVIND on their CT side as well, where players are lining up. There's aggressive plays in which they're containing and making sure that there's appropriate reactions. Saul had exactly that, so a taste of their own medicine now that they're on the T side as well. And given that that was their full investment round, only a half buy coming into this one. No, not too many flashes in the NORDAVIND side though. They've expended most of them already.
Well, we have seen, a couple of rounds where Saw dropped the ball, but this time they're playing much more defensively. Before against unarmored opponents where, he's re-peeking mid continually to keep the pressure on. Now though, Stododo misses that shot that looked like it was completely on point, but he must have just accidentally flicked it a bit. Arky is forced to reload, but they can't push through the smoke to punish him for it. As he does have some backup. Bomb is down. Now things get tricky because Densky with the Tech 9, he's just going to be taking this long-range duel against the AWP. Even wins it and gets more damage onto Muterus, who's now on 29 HP. So this keeps on getting harder. HS with a quick kill. Great angle, but can't find the second. That'll go to Harry as he takes down Just, who is trying to creep in from short. Roman, who's moved forward, is spotted, will be brought down, and NATO Safix with 2 kills over there. What a round from them. This is why you can't give up the bomb site for free to Tech 9s. And unfortunately, fingers have to be pointed at Stododo, who the entirety of Saul was relying on, that you're playing from car, you'll be able to at least get 1 or 2 kills while they're coming up short, and then our retake becomes possible. But because he misses that first shot and he's forced to back off, It's unfortunate. He even misses another shot later on to Harry.
Yeah, the fact that he misses the first and the follow-up is really what comes back to hurt them. The AWP should have much more presence on a site like that and just fully exploit the fact that these pistols aren't that good at those longer distances. Sure, they've got good accuracy in the Deagle. The Tech 9 had a good buff in that regard as well. But even still, you've got a better arsenal of weapons. You've got the utility as well as an inexcusable round, and it's the second one of its nature we've seen. This time there was a bit more of an investment from NORDAVIND on their T side, but they've won that USP round on their CT side as well. So they've now had 2 instances where it should just be straightforward wins that ultimately result in a round for their opponent.
Well, I will say that Sol has been very good on their CT side so far. So that is a small mistake, but it's one that can come back to bite them when you're already down 9-11. So Arky has to come up big. The Falmus won't find any kills yet. He backs off and he's waiting for help to come in, but help is not there. Muterus unfortunately can't push forward in time, and Sudodo's been flashed up. There's 2 players playing car, which can always be fun, but it can also be very scary if they're both going to get mollied off. Now, on the bright side, actually, they don't even have a smoke. Never mind. Roman's the one with the smoke. Sudodo goes down. Muterus as well will fall. They're checking all their angles, they're dotting all their I's and crossing their T's, but they missed a smoke. Unfortunately for Saw, they can't punish and just backs off, trying to get to safety, but he's been spotted and he will be brought down soon. NATO suffix to take his life away. 3 kills for NATO in that round. And the 12th for NORDAVIND.
And that's heartbreaking, right? You start to get close, you start to get within touching distance of your opponent, you're about to equalize the affair, you lose the Tech 9s, the pistols, and then you just get run over towards long. The fact that they lose that opening kill, I like to see the initiative there from Sudodo, trying to take some space away, maybe catch them off guard as he begins to repeak, but more missed shots just keep coming through, and sort of unfortunate timings as well, because he could have caught NATO Sapphics out. He had his teammate there to support as well. Just the hold crumbles as a whole. Just hope the mentality doesn't begin to... or the result of these previous rounds don't begin to weigh on the minds of these Seoul players. Because this... I mean, we look at their statistics on this map. They are very confident on Dust 2. And it hasn't been a confident showing.
Alright, NATO Sapphics missing a few shots as well. Muterus does punish Croman for that, but fortunately for NATO, unlike Sudodo earlier on, he is not completely alone. He's got 4 riflers with him and say, don't worry, NATO, you carried the previous round, we got through this one. And, you know, NATO's score is also quite impressive. He's 18 for 12, but forget NATO, you've got HS sitting on 26 kills and 15 deaths. Now, a lot of that did come from the CD side, but we are still seeing him continue his form over here as well.
Yeah, and especially in the ecosystem we have in Counter-Strike has sort of lent more towards being save dependent and, you know, identifying lost rounds. We've had so much fighting. There's so many players with high kill scores on both teams. And well, look at the play in from NORDAVIND. They get Croman in towards Pit by himself. All the flashes, they weren't able to identify it fast enough, and Saw are on the retreat. Croman almost lines up a secondary kill as well, and it's unpunished. There's no trade, sort of giving up that map position. And they haven't really had to compete with all too much. They can just sit Croman in here and go about the rest of their day, maybe even progress onto the site, because Saw have given it up and are aggressing elsewhere.
Harry barely misses them coming into the lower tunnels. He does spot the second player, and he is getting the headshot from that range. Roman, however, misses his headshot from a much closer range, and HS with a flashbang to force Roman off of position will now chuck out a Molotov as well. HS is happy to play this game all day long. He's got 3 players coming in from behind. The problem is just Sudodo. As long as he can take him down, that would be huge, and HS will get that kill any day of the week.
Yeah, this B-bomb site is looking weaker and weaker as time goes on, but Tensky is clearing out through long. There's 40 seconds left on the clock. They're happy to reposition. Apex is still taking names. In fact, he just wins the round by himself, pushing out through the tunnels, gets the last 2 kills. A 14th round for NORDAVIND as they are getting oh so close to shutting out this first map. A map that I felt for the series, and I think we both kind of echoed that same point, was a big dependency for Seoul.
I thought it was a definite win for Seoul personally.
Yeah.
They were so impressive yesterday on the CT side especially, but just not the same today. Can I just quickly ask, was greenery always in lower tunnels? Because I just saw plants in lower tunnels. I've never seen those before.
It's one of those things where, you know, you point to the B or the A apartments on Mirage, right? You look up. Have you seen those plants before? So many people didn't.
Yeah. No, but there's literal plants on top of the door, under the crates. I've never seen it. I don't know, man. It's just strange stuff for me. But Muterus, he has gone down, unfortunately, early on. Not able to find a quick kill with the deagle that he needed. HS pushes through the smoke. He's feeling so confident at this point, but losing the AK could come back to bite them. Stododo, however, will not be biting them. Roman, AK at the ready. Takes that duel, but it's just to win it. Tensky is fallen, and so is Roman. Very soon after, followed up by Just. There you go, 15-9. NATO, he's feeling it. He wants to convince us that no, he should be opping.
I mean, the worst thing is, right? Like, I'm right there with you. NATO's been impressive, but what is HS doing? This guy's on 31 kills. There are still potentially 6 rounds to play, and he's just had an absolute stormer. Like you said, so much confidence on this man at the moment. Pushing through smokes, doesn't really matter. He's getting put in awkward positions, and he's still coming out ahead, and they're barreling towards this B bomb site. That opening pick by NATO is enough of a indicator that this bomb site is weakened, and they get the site. HS with another kill. Stododo trying desperately to claw something back, but he just falls victim to the exact same thing. The site is in their control, and Seoul need to compete with this because the map is just about done, and I think we're about ready to write this off. Harry going for more. He just wants the stats himself. Muterus trapped within a corner. Can he bail them out?
No.
Yep, simple as that.
Yeah. I'm sorry. HS was on the other side. HS was having an absolutely huge performance over there too. Now, listen. I don't want to take anything away from Seoul. Absolutely not. I think they were fantastic. Yes, they don't dust you, but today was not the same Seoul that we saw yesterday. Their spacing was a little bit awkward. They were having these weird little